I must say this is the first time I've actually heard, of administrators perhaps thinking about mowing a little bit of custody grass. I mean, is this a widespread thing, or is it just it's just something you sense out there? Is it?
All I can say is that I've had conversations with administrators who say, well, we can do that for you cheaper. Not pure custody, but some of the reporting and some of the analytics that you need to satisfy your business and regulatory obligations. That's all.
I think it's to Alex's
not doing
point.
pure
I
custody.
think the whole conversation is evolving as the breadth of assets that we all need to provide to end members is growing. The complexity of those assets is also growing, and how they want to actually determine what assets they're participating in is changing. The landscape is definitely changing, and I think in one respect there's at the beginning or the back end of the process, custody is thinking about how it can move up through and through the value chain. Administrators who were standalone administrators are thinking, well, how they can participate, and then to David's point, and certainly what Australian Super are doing through Member Direct, even that is now blurring between how a member interacts back into custody as well. So I think there's lots of change in the landscape happening, and so everyone's questioning, well, the old world paradigm of how we made this work isn't necessarily the right model anymore. How does everyone play a role in it going forward?
And what do you feel has been the driver for that change? Because yes, it's certainly been going on, but not with a great deal of fanfare. It's just kind of one of those things that's happening, and we as a journalist, you hear about it happening. Not that we've written about it happening a lot, but what has been the driver for that, do you think?
Well, I'll be interested in Peter Curtis's comments as well on this, but I think from the member end, there's a number of changes happening there. Obviously, as people transition from accumulation into retirement, all of a sudden there's a lot more focus, from Australians normally on, okay, well, hang on, what do I have in my retirement savings, and what am I going to do with it now, and how should I have it invested? So all of a sudden, I think today there's a lot more engagement from the member itself, sitting going, I really need to make some decisions around what I'm going to do with this pool of money, which has led to more product being offered where the actual members have a lot more say through products like Member Direct, as one example, to play that role. So I think that's sort of one facet of what's been happening. I think the other is as the whole super pool has grown so significantly in Australia, the reality is it's becoming too big just to invest in what I'll call the traditional vanilla type assets. It's not all going to be invested in equities or simple fixed term or fixed income type securities. So the pool itself has got so big that it needs to expand into the more complex and alternative asset classes, which again is putting pressure on the whole system. How do I start to custody these, administer these, account for them back up to the members and so on? So I think there's a number of factors that have been occurring over a while, and to your point, it's nearly sort of been happening behind the scenes because the pool's just growing at this sort of ever ongoing marching rate.